Welcome to the world of probiotic foods. This is Cultured Food Life with your host, Donna Schwenk.
Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining me. Today, we're going to be talking about 5 foods that have really changed my life. Now, my top 5 they're all fermented except for one. And I'll explain more about that later. But there's so many moments in your life when you stumble upon something so simple, yet so powerful that it changes everything. And for me, that something was these 5 foods. They opened up a whole new world of health for me, of joy and transformation. It was pretty shocking to me. And these foods aren't exotic. They're not hard to find. In fact, they've been around for centuries, quietly nourishing cultures all over the world. But when they entered my life, they didn't just improve my health. They gave me back my energy, my peace of mind, and my passion for living, which is why I continue to have them every day. I often think, what would have happened if I hadn't gotten sick and gone searching for these foods? What if that pain that I was in, because I was feeling so bad, what if that hadn't turned to wisdom and a deep desire to share what I had discovered with others? My life is simple, and what works for me, I always share with you. It's just kind of the course of my life now. I get very excited, find things that work, and I just want to tell others. It's really my heart's desire that you be well and experience the joy of feeling so good that it surprises you, and you wind up making a website and writing books or doing podcasts, things you never thought you could do. But when you feel good, you do those things. So that's what wellness does. It opens up that door you didn't know was closed, and it just changes your life. So please don't go through life not feeling good. You just don't know what you're missing. It changes everything. Okay, so let's get into the 5 foods that have changed my life. To start with, they're kefir, kombucha, fermented vegetables, yogurt, and then matcha, and then a special thing that I add to my matcha. These are all superfoods that are waiting for you. So everybody knows that I am a kefir lover at heart. That is my probably favorite food. And it was the first cultured food I ever tried. And it was nothing short of a miracle for me. My body was struggling. My digestion was in chaos. I had all kinds of health problems. And I was desperate for something that would help me and my little girl that I had just had. And when I began drinking kefir daily, everything started to change for me and for those around me who had it. Not only did my digestion improve, but so did my other health problems. My blood pressure came down, my blood sugar began to stabilize, my sleep improved, and I really felt my body gently starting to detox. Even my heart health, my seasonal allergies, lung and respiratory functions grew stronger, and it was literally as if my whole system began to reset. And I watched it change my little girl, who was, a tiny little baby, she was like 10 months old, and she had been born premature, and she just started to just blossom and really changed her life. And I did it for her. I really did it for her to help her be well. And in turn, it changed me, which is so many moms I know do that. They'll go and they'll heal their kids or their family members before they heal themselves. But it all is wonderful how it folds back around. So kefir is teeming with billions of probiotics, more strains than any other cultured food you can have. It has over 50 plus, and it has the most of all cultured foods. And they're living microbes balanced back to my gut. They strengthened my immune system. They gave me energy. They fixed so many things, but they gave me this joy I hadn't felt in years. It quickly became my daily companion. I had kefir every day. And it's the food I recommend when somebody asks, where do I start? And I have lots of recipes, but when I tell people, where do I get started? I would start with kefir. It's where I started, and it has the most benefits. It's one of the easiest to make. And one of the reasons I wanted to explain to you why kefir has so many benefits, it's not heated. Kefir is made on the counter. So that not heating it, yogurts are usually made with heat, because you kill the other bacteria and then you ferment it at like 100 to 110, although you can do some of them lower now, but you do them. And what happens when you do that, it makes the yogurt get a thick curd. Well, kefir doesn't have a super thick curd. It's more like a pourable yogurt. But here's the cool thing. Because kefir is not heated, you get to all the beneficial yeasts that are in kefir too, and there's a lot of them. So you get beneficial bacteria and beneficial yeast. And if you heat it above 76 degrees, you kill off the yeast, start to kill off the yeast. But those yeast are just as important to our bodies as the bacteria because we actually have as many strains, if not more, of good yeast in our body as we do good bacteria. Because people only hear about the bad yeast and the bad bacteria, and they don't hear about all the good that it does to keep us healthy and keep us from getting sick. And so kefir is especially beneficial because you're not heating it. So you're keeping all of those beneficial yeast and bacteria intact when you consume it. That's why it has so many probiotics. And it's one of my favorite things about kefir. Plus, you guys, you're just sitting it on your counter for 24 hours and making, and sometimes less if your house is warmer. But it ferments so fast, you don't have to buy any special equipment. You just get a jar. And kefir, you can make it with kefir grains or easy kefir, which is made from grains. It's the flash frozen kefir grains that's made into a powder. So it's the easiest method because you can make as much or as little as you want. Where with grains, you need to make it every day because you've got grains. They're like a pet, but I love that pet. And you can make it and they last forever. So an easy kefir will keep going and going and going. It's like you can reculture it all the time. So I put a link in the description on the article. So you can go to my article and see my super easy kefir pots. And I make these little individual pots and make, I use the easy kefir to make it. And it's so good. It's kind of where I started when I first started consuming kefir 24 years ago. And it just made it fun because I could just grab it. And it was so easy to make, easier than I ever imagined. I wouldn't have done it if it was hard. I mean, if I had to buy a yogurt maker and make all that, I probably wouldn't have done it because I was just overwhelmed with having a new baby and I was tired and I felt sick. And it was because it was so easy that I made this. And then that changed my life. 3 weeks later, I didn't even recognize the person that I was because it had changed so much for me. So that's the first food. That's the one I recommend the most. Now, kefir soda, which actually has some components of kefir, but not all of them. It's kind of its fun, fizzy cousin. And when I first found kefir soda you can make from the whey of kefir, which drips out, the clear white liquid, it's more gold, out of kefir. You can make it with that. Or we also have a kefir soda starter, which you can use, which will make you, oh my gosh, dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of bottles. I stopped counting after 40 because you kept reculturing it. But it's the way that's in kefir. And our kefir soda is a little stronger because we added a few more things to really help you. Like we added some good yeast, Saccharomyces boulardii, which is also in kombucha. That really helps you. There's bifido in it. It's awesome. And so that was one of the second things that we did because my daughter loved it. And she was having digestive issues. She was getting IBS. And she wanted something to have with her meals. And kefir soda was one of those things along with kombucha. The two of them, we did both. And you make it from fruit juice. You use like half water, half fruit juice, and a special starter. You can either use the whey from kefir, like I said, you drain it out, or the soda starter. It's bubbly. It's bursting with probiotics. It's a soda, but it doesn't have the sugar. The bacteria that's in the culture eats the sugars to make those bubbles. And it's not forced carbonation, it's naturally occurring. So while I love creating different flavors, but it's sparkly, it's bubbly, it's a healthy version of soda with about 90% less sugar in it. And my family falls in love with it. I love it in the summertime when it's hot outside. We drink a lot. We put it over kefir ice cream or yogurt ice cream and makes floats. It's bubbly, it's delicious, and the natural microbes in the kefir soda support your digestion. So it strengthens your immune system because it's got bifido in it. It helps your body detox because it's got S. boulardii in it, which is a powerful detoxer, but it's rich in vitamins, minerals, antioxidants. It boosts your energy, your skin health, and your overall wellness. And the best part of all is that the good bacteria eats up those sugars. It makes it so naturally low in sugar, but it has a ton of flavor. It's lighter, it's more filling than regular soda, but it also can help you support your weight management by making you feel satisfied without that sugar crash. Probiotics in kefir soda, um, they have that bifido in it that can influence the gut flora in so many ways. And aids in weight loss and prevents weight gain because it's so fantastic. So you should try my coconut kefir soda. That's the one, that recipe. And I'm going to put that in the description on the article. Just go to the article and you'll see all of these recipes at culturefoodlife.com. And I'll put it in the description too. But the coconut kefir soda, you make it with coconut water. You can also do it with fruit juice. But for some reason, the coconut kefir soda one, it has so many more probiotics in it, because coconut water is a very powerful means to make a soda because it's just really strong in other nutrients. It has carylic acid in it, which helps kill candida. It also has a lot of electrolytes in it. So it's a very, very powerful kefir soda to make. And I love that recipe. Okay, the next one, which I kind of talked about a little, it was the kombucha. That's like my sparkling hero. It was, if kefir was my first love, kombucha was my, bubbly sidekick that I had all the time, especially my daughter, Macy, when she was trying to heal. I will never forget my first sip of kombucha. It was fizzy, it was tangy and alive, very similar to kefir soda, but a little bit different. It just felt like celebration in a glass, and it just is such a powerful detox. It helps your liver to detoxify you, and it floods your system with beneficial acids. And over time, I noticed more changes. It helped me detox from things like diet sodas. I was addicted to those, and I couldn't get off of them for many, many years, but kombucha helped me get off of it. It supported my hormones through all the phases of my life, be it perimenopause, menopause, all those different times when you have way too many hormones circulating that are trying to balance. Kombucha was very helpful with that. It also was very effective in calming seasonal allergies like hay fever. It would always give me a boost. It soothes your joints. It helps keep candida in check because that powerful probiotic that I talked about in kefir soda, Saccharomyces boulardii, that powerful, it's a good yeast. It's a probiotic yeast. It's very powerful at that. And the ones at the stores often aren't the same as the ones you make at home. GT Synergy Kombucha is. I like that one. That one is unaltered. It's not lightly pasteurized. It's none of those things. It has all the organic acids and all the beneficial bacteria that you need. But making it at home is the best because you're going to get all of those benefits and then some. So it'll give you a healthier alternative to soda. It'll become, it's really my go-to when I crave something refreshing, uplifting, or I feel tired. I always grab a bottle of kombucha. I just can't imagine my life without those fizzy little bottles lined up in my fridge. It's a really special way to brighten your day. And I'm going to link one of my favorite recipes. It's a cranberry chai kombucha. Since we're kind of getting into fall, I love this one. And I'll link that in the description on the article. So go to the article. Okay, in my website at culturefoodlife.com. Next one is fermented vegetables. Okay, guys, this is like daily medicine for me in a spoon. And when I started making my own sauerkraut and fermented veggies, I realized this food was truly medicine. It was just a spoonful of fermented vegetables was enough to help fight off colds, flus, calm inflammation, and keep my digestive humming along. It just really, really works well. And you do not need very much. A spoonful's all you need, or one piece of the veg, like a pickle or a spoonful of the veggies. But the juice is just as powerful. And it helped my family so much. So fermented vegetables help remove pesticides from produce. They degrade them while they're the fermentation. You don't even have to use organic vegetables because fermentation degrades those chemicals and pesticides that are on the vegetables. And it does it very fast. And it also helps your digestive system. And if you have the flu or a stomach thing going on and you feel nauseous or you've got food poisoning, this powerful spoonful of cultured veggie juice will fix you like nothing else. I just get so many emails about this, and I've seen it happen so many times in my family that it's undeniable. The vitamins skyrocket. The vitamin C skyrockets when you have cultured vegetables. And for instance, regular cabbage has 60 milligrams in it for a cup. You ferment it, it's got 700. B vitamins go up, and it makes some of the most nutrient dense food you can eat. And it's also one of the safest and best ways to preserve vegetables. It locks in the goodness for months. It's so much good bacteria that keeps out the pathogens. It's a very safe method of preserving your vegetables. It is packed with fiber, enzymes, and probiotics, and they support your immune system in ways that modern supplements only dream of doing. I often say that the juice from fermented vegetables is like a natural first aid kit for your gut. And if you are ever struggling with any kind of nauseousness, or you've got a bug that you're dealing with and you're throwing up a lot, this works. I'm telling you, just a spoonful of the juice. You don't have to eat the vegetables. It just works. I've seen it work so many times that it's undeniable. But it doesn't work if you don't have a jar in your fridge. But if you have a jar in your fridge, they can last like 9 months. So it's powerful medicine for your gut. And it does so many things. It helps to get rid of fungus problems, like if you've got like, all different kinds of candida and problems like that. This is a powerful way to get rid of it. And it's also good for your hair, your skin, your digestive system, your gut lining. It protects your gut lining. It's powerful medicine. So I sip this. I sip the stuff out of the jar all the time, just because I'm too busy to go get a fork and get a pickle out. But it's fabulous. So give that a try. Okay, this is the last fermented food. Then I've got one more after that of something else. So yogurt. Yogurt is a comfort food for me. Always has been. But when I learned to make it myself, especially with different strains like Lactobacillus reuteri, skyr, Greek yogurt, all of those special strains did something different to me. Lactobacillus reuteri is not really a yogurt. It's a fermented dairy because it's not a typical strain of it. But wow, does it work. It helps to stimulate powerful hormones like testosterone and it creates that love hormone, oxytocin. And that means noticeable improvements in my skin, my health, my muscle growth, my bone density, slenderness, and it even increases insulin sensitivity. I just can't say enough about it, what it's done for my body. I have it a lot when I work out, and that's not huge amounts, a few spoonfuls worth of a cup or whatever. Sometimes I'll stick them in with my kefir smoothie, but it really makes a difference, guys. I've really seen a huge difference in all those areas, and so has so many other people. That's why it's so popular. It's a little bit fussy sometimes to make, but I've got lots of things to help you to figure out how to make it just the way you like it. And it's one of my favorite foods to have whenever I am struggling and feeling low, because it creates that oxytocin that really helps you lift your mood. It's fabulous. Now, skyr and Greek yogurt, which I love, they are ancient traditions, modern superfoods. I fell in love with skyr and Greek yogurt because they're thick and they're rich tasting. And I can even make them with milks that don't have a lot of fat in them and get huge benefits. But they are full of protein because you strain out the whey. If you want to strain out the whey, you get tons of protein. So skyr, with its Icelandic roots, they've got a special strain that they have there. And it gives me this, it's probably my favorite tasting. It has this mild, creamy, and deeply nourishing yogurt that I don't think I've ever found a yogurt that tastes like skyr that I like as much. I like all the yogurts. I think they all taste good, but skyr is by far my favorite. And the Greek yogurt is tangy and dense and full of protein too. And I am using so much Greek and skyr yogurt, it's ridiculous. So they provide so much protein and probiotics, and they connect us to cultures that have thrived on these foods for centuries. I'm eating a lot of protein these days, guys. I try to do 30 grams at a meal. And one of the ways I do that is with skyr Greek yogurt or cottage cheese. The other thing, I eat the probiotic cottage cheese. I literally just made a bunch yesterday. I made El Reuteri cottage cheese yesterday. And you can buy it at the stores now. They have 2 different brands that are probiotic if you don't want to make it. And I'm having them constantly. I make cottage cheese pancakes. I make cookies with them. I do these bowls that are, I put, for instance, I'll take chicken, cup of chicken, put a little bit, a fourth of a cup of cottage cheese and a fourth of a cup of skyr yogurt or Greek, whichever one I have, that's strained so it's thick. And then I put herbs and sun-dried tomatoes and green onions, and I just eat this all the time for lunch. Or I'll make a pumpkin bowl that has Greek yogurt in it or skyr yogurt with pumpkin. Mix it up. I make these little graham crackers that I put it on, and kefir whipped topping, or you can use whipped topping that's low in calories. And I have it for lunch. I had it for lunch. Actually ate that twice yesterday because I was so busy. I had pre-made a bunch and I was like, okay, I don't have time to eat. So I'm just, but it has so much protein. It's so filling. It's so good for me. And it's so satisfying. It's just something that allows me to grab. It's like fast food. You know, so many people just want fast food all the time because I understand that because they're busy and I'm busy. So I will make a lot of these foods all the time. Making yogurt at home allows me to control the strains I put in it, the fermentation time, the creaminess, the protein content, and it gives me more comfort. It just gives me, honestly, it gives me really targeted health benefits. But it gives me better sleep too, improved skin, strong immunity. But homemade yogurt is one of my most powerful tools for wellness. It is, oh my gosh, I make so much yogurt. But I do big batches and then I make a bunch to have for the week. I need to do a whole article about what I do every week and every month. And some of these things I don't make, but every couple of months. Sometimes I do things once a week. But these are the foods that I'm eating almost daily, every day. So they all make a difference, but I had to find a way to make it sustainable but honestly, it is because it's a lot easier to run to buy something or going through the fast food checkout line. If I have these in my fridge, it doesn't take very much time, but it's just a retraining of yourself to have some on hand so that you can have them. Okay, so this is my last one, matcha. I love matcha and I have it every morning. I try not to sometimes because I thought I should change it up and I'll have coffee on this day. But then I wind up having matcha and coffee. It's ridiculous. So because I like it so much, I like the way that it makes me feel. And it really is a slow source of energy. Now, matcha is not really fermented because it's made from specially grown tea leaves called tencha that are shaded before harvest to boost the chlorophyll and amino acids. Most teas are fermented, but matcha isn't. So after they harvest, the leaves are steamed to prevent oxidation and dried and like stone ground into this fine, vibrant green powder. So we know it as matcha, but it's really just tea leaves that are ground up. And since it's steamed right after picking, the fermentation is stopped and it keeps it in the green tea category. And it has so many antioxidants and chlorophyll that it is just a superfood, but it also helps you on the cellular level. By whisking that vibrant green powder into a frothy cup every morning, and I usually make mine iced, except in the winter, I sometimes do it warm. And then I add my homemade almond milk. It is something I have every single day. And it's a game changer for me, for mood, for appetite control. Because I tell you what, whenever I had a matcha, I'm not hungry. And I was like, why does that happen every single time I have matcha? And then I started losing a few pounds when I first started with matcha, going, what is happening? Why is this drink changing me so much? And so I researched it, and through direct links to GLP, which is the fullness hormone in your body, they are under investigation, but one review shows that those catechins from green tea influence appetite hormones, just like the GLP-1 drugs that are on the market now. And it also works with ghrelin, which helps delay the gastric emptying and promoting a sense of fullness when you have it. And you guys, it does do that. I thought I was crazy for a while because I'm like, why do I never want to eat anything after I have this? And it just does something to me. And I love it, but I feel so satisfied from it. And there's even more preclinical studies that show matcha helps alleviate obesity and regulate metabolism through the gut-liver axis modulation. And I have the research for that in the article if you want to look at it. It's pretty amazing. And it's the reason I feel like I do when I drink it. It is just so many things in that really, I think it's L-theanine that really helps you feel calm and gives you that gives you small amounts of caffeine. It's not a lot, but it's different. It's different than regular caffeine. And I have a whole article on that. Now, something I've been doing the last probably, I would say 3 or 4 months, I've been adding colostrum to my matcha. And I've tried a lot of colostrums. And colostrum is the first milk you get from your mother, and from cows get it to their babies. And they're selling a lot on the market. People freak out because they think the baby cows aren't getting it. The baby cows are getting it. The cows make so much of it. There's such an abundance of it, and it's such a miracle food that they have all this leftover stuff all the time. So they use it and sell it, and it has really, really surprised me. Now, I've tried some that I didn't notice a difference, but there was one that I've tried recently that not only is the best tasting one I've ever had, but I've really noticed a difference when I started adding it to my matcha. And I just blend it with a little blender with the matcha. I used to top it off, but now I just mix it all together because it tastes so good anyway. And they have like strawberry, vanilla, or chocolate, and it's got very healthy ingredients. I'm going to link that description in below. But if you want to really help your gut health and you want more bifidobacteria, colostrum is fabulous for that because it helps to build it in a very, very powerful way. And the reason you want bifidobacteria, it's the young bacteria. It's the bacteria you get when you're born that basically modulates your immune system. And if that gets killed, you get all kinds of problems. And it's one of the most powerful ways to stay young and keep young is to have lots of bifidobacteria. And I have seen that in my life. The more I have, the younger I feel and the better I feel, because it diminishes if you don't feed it and take care of it. And just like all the other bacteria in your body is wanting those things to help you and to help your immune system and keep you from those autoimmune diseases. And you don't have to have this. I just like it, guys. I'm just sharing with you what I love. And I've got my daughter. She just is crazy for it. I noticed an immediate change when she has matcha. And then when we started adding the colostrum to it, wow. It's just she can't go without it now. She said I ruined her whole life because now she's got to have it. So it is one of the best things in the morning to start your day. You're going to feel a difference when you have it. Even if you just have matcha and get the good grades, you want the ceremonial grade. That's where you're going to get all the benefits. Don't get the cheap ones because you're not getting the benefits from matcha if you get the cheap ones that are left out. If it's not vibrant green, then you're not getting the good ones. I'll link what I use below. And I think they gave me codes. Both the green Tenzo is what the one I use. And I got like a code for them. And I got a code for the colostrum because you guys are going to feel so much better when you have it. It's just awesome. And I've tried different things, but it's just my morning go-to drink. So it's the thing I love. I still love coffee a lot. I do, but I don't drink it as often because I'm just in love with matcha. So matcha stuff is popping up everywhere. And, they've been drinking matcha tea in Japan for, oh my gosh, forever. And I think it's one of their little secrets that they have. And I'm glad that people are catching on to it because it has really made a difference for me and I love it. So those are the things that I do. Those are my favorite foods. These are the things I have every day. I mean, I literally just took some kefir cottage cheese out of the strainer. I had to strain it extra because I was running behind, and I put it in my cheese strainer, and I make I'm going to go have some kefir cottage cheese. It's actually not kefir. I take that back. It's El Ruderai cottage cheese. I'm going to have that for breakfast. I'm going to mix in a little bit of my yogurt and top it with some stewed fruit I made. I already had my matcha. And I did it before I did this podcast. And then for lunch, we're doing recipes for a new ebook we've got coming out. But guys, I live on these things because it's made my life so much easier, but I feel so much better, and it's not as hard as you think. And once you have them around, you're just going to reach for them again. And I have lots of good recipes and new things coming out to help you and help you enjoy it. So I hope you'll try try one of these foods, just try one, see, how you do with it. And then let me know, hit me up and let me know how it is for you and how you're doing, because I really want you to feel better. It is the secret to life. So thanks for listening, guys, and we will talk to you next time.